Welcome to Spotless Mind. If this is content you think you're going to enjoy, please feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The Paradox of Wu Wei is an enduring philosophical conundrum rooted in Daoism, an ancient Chinese tradition, translated as non-action or non-doing. The concept of Wu Wei is a state of effortless flow, where actions are performed naturally and in alignment with the Tao, which means the way. The origins and interpretation. The term Wu Wei originates from the classical Taoist text, Tao Te Ching, and Zhuangzi. The scholars of these texts suggested that the best way to live life, manage oneself, and rule in a state is through Wu Wei. In Tao Te Ching, Laozi claims that the world is governed by letting things take their natural course, rather than imposing one's will upon it. It does not mean withdrawal, but aligning one's actions to the rhythm of the natural world. Paradoxical nature of Wu Wei. The paradox of Wu Wei lies in its seemingly contradictory nature. It is often misunderstood as inaction, laziness, or passivity, due to the term non-action. However, it is not about doing nothing. Rather, it is a kind of action that is aligned with the natural order of things. It is the result of deep understanding of the Tao, which provides the natural flow of existence. Wu Wei is a state of being where one's actions align with the natural course of things, meaning that the actions taken are effortless, yet effective. In other words, while Wu Wei seems to imply non-action, it actually means acting in a way that is not obstructive, forcing, or counter to the natural flow of things. This gentle, effortless kind of action comes from a state of being in which one is present, alert, and attuned to the environment, rather than being governed by the ego. Thus, Wu Wei paradoxically involves an active surrender and a release of the ego and control, which paradoxically leads to a greater control and effectiveness. However, achieving Wu Wei is difficult as it requires overcoming the default nature of our ego-based thinking and action. The ego prompts us to take active control to manipulate situations to our advantage. This is often counter to the natural flow of things and often leads to the force and resistance which obstructs progress. Conversely, the path of Wu Wei is one of surrender, letting go of control, and allowing nature to take its course. This requires a state of being where one is not solely focused on the outcome, but is instead focused on the process and on the journey ahead. The resolution of the paradox of Wu Wei. The realization of Wu Wei lies in the distinction between striving, Yu Wei, and non-striving, Wu Wei. Tension arises when we consciously strive for something, including Wu Wei, but when we allow ourselves to be engrossed in the task at hand, we accidentally stumble upon Wu Wei. The paradox is resolved when we understand that Wu Wei is not about trying less, but trying differently, striving without striving, acting without contrivance. Wu Wei is also a state of acceptance and surrender, acting in accordance with the natural order and not resisting anything. However, it can only be attained if one is present, highly attentive, and attuned to the environment. To sum it up, the paradoxical essence of Wu Wei can be seen in the tension between letting go, yet remaining highly attentive and aligned with the natural flow of things. Applications of Wu Wei in everyday life. The applications of Wu Wei extend beyond philosophy to governance, art, sports, and everyday life. In governance, rulers who embody Wu Wei rule without visible governing, allowing natural order to maintain harmony. In sports, athletes exhibit Wu Wei when they perform intuitively without consciously thinking about every detail of their actions. In everyday life, Wu Wei can be a moderating influence against the exhausting push for achievement, a reminder that sometimes the best course of action is to act without striving. So in conclusion, the paradox of Wu Wei lies in its seemingly contradictory nature. Wu Wei is not inaction, but rather an alignment of actions with the natural order of things. It involves the release of ego and control, a gentle surrender which paradoxically leads to a greater control and effectiveness. Achieving Wu Wei requires a state of presence, effectiveness, and alignment with the natural flow of things. Thus, the paradox of Wu Wei lies in the tension between letting go and remaining highly attentive to the environment. Wu Wei offers a valuable approach to navigating life with greater ease and effectiveness by placing a high value on presence, acceptance, and surrender. Wu Wei ultimately acts as a fascinating mirror, reflecting our human preoccupations with control, effort, and achievement. It challenges the logic of relentless striving and asks us to rethink our understanding of productivity and harmony. While it makes simple sense to state strive without striving, grasping its practical implications requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Consequently, the paradox of Wu Wei remains an enigmatic yet insightful philosophical concept from ancient Eastern wisdom.